Hi everyone. So I'm going to do a very special spiritual spread for you guys today. This is actually an ancient spread. No joke. Um, it's actually called the Draw in a Cross Tarot spread. Um, Now, the only way that you would have or could have heard of this spread, either you know Vincent Petisky, who actually he does teach some tarot. I think he does still anyway. But he still has a channel on YouTube and he's very entertaining. Um, or you might own a very old copy if you managed to buy one in the 1960s or 70s of the very traditional Tarot de Marseille. But you would have had to buy the version of that deck that is published by the French publisher, and I mean the one in France, in Lorraine, France, grimaud. They actually do still have a website. It's still a publisher, a very, very popular publisher of all sorts of playing cards in France. I think that is the website in English? I think it's mostly in French. I'm not sure. Carte Grimaud. It's on the website. It's on the internet. Anyway, in the very, very old version, I know someone who bought a version in the 1970s, and the little booklet guide that comes in the Tarot de Marseille, the ones that were published in the 70s at least, had this very spread that we're about to do, and they called it Draw in a Cross, all right? So what it does is we're going to look at, now Vincent calls it the Four Winds spread. But it's a very, very ancient spread. There is no other 4 or 5 card spread that's like it. There are actually 5 positions. Basically, it uses the 4 parts of our conscious level to work out an issue or a problem, and then there's an answer from spirit as the 5th position. But there's a way that we calculate the 5th position to get to it. So this is an ancient, nobody really knows how far back it goes. Other people would know more than I would, all right? So I'm not even going to attempt to go there because I prefer that everything that you hear from me, no one will, if you talk about it to someone else, you won't get anything wrong. So I'm not going to even attempt to talk about how old this spread is. It's old, put it that way. All right, let's get started. So the very cool thing about this spread is that we use the major arcana only. So as you know, that means that we'll be using only 22 cards. So there we go. I'm going to put the rest of the deck away for now. All right, so just to make sure, guys, that we have 22 cards, I will count them in front of you just so you can feel sure that we do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, they're a bit sticky. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, okay? So we'll do just a tiny bit shuffling. I already shuffled them before we came on, after I extracted them, the major arcana from the minor. All right, we'll do 2 more and 1. So this will be for Aquarius and 2. Now then, so the order of positions is very important. The first position is north. It is related to our thoughts or swords. So this is the position of air. This is you guys. So I'm going to take this card and put it up here. The second position is feelings or south. So we're going to, or cups. So we're going to put that card right here. The third position is west, wands or spirit passion. This card over here. And the fourth position is the east or physical, material, or pentacles. So we're going to take that and put it there. Now, just to make sure that none of these cards were stuck together, well, actually, it doesn't really matter. We're going to figure it out. Now, shall we look and see what's on the bottom of the deck, even though that's not part of it? World. Okay, so we may talk about that soon. All right, let's uncover and see what these cards are, and then I will take a small break, and then we're going to get started. Interesting. Wow. Wow. This is really quite something. So we begin with position 1. What is in your thoughts? Obviously, a whole lot of wisdom. You could also be dealing or thinking about a Virgo. What an incredible card to have in the position of thoughts. This is the major arcana card of Virgo. But it is the card that comes up for me when I'm doing readings, usually when Spirit wants to speak. You will hear some readers sometimes casually mentioning that it might mean a period where you're going to be feeling alone. No, it could mean introspection or meditation, and you might want to be alone to do that. But the Hermit is never alone. He is always accompanied by the divine, always. He is guided by the divine. He is the divine. In that lantern, there is a 6-pointed star. If you're Jewish, you might know that as this Solomon's seal of wisdom, or the Star of David, or there are all sorts of things that it can be called. But put it this way, in short form, it is the divine. Now, this position and this card is supposed to represent what is in your thoughts. I can only say that you may have literally been through many lifetimes, or in this lifetime, you've had enough experience that you have earned or gained a lot of wisdom, and at the same time you have a connection with the divine, and that is a very, very amiable a combination to have. The wonderful thing about this character, the Hermit, is that he will share his knowledge. He is coming down from the mountain that the Fool started on. The Fool started the journey. But of course, there is a continuous flow between the manifest and the unmanifest. The Fool also being a very powerful figure, character, archetype in the tarot deck. When I think of the Fool, though, it's interesting because the Fool's posture is very focused on the physical. The Fool is ready to begin this journey, and so must and is more focused on his physical or her physical surroundings. Notice that at this point, after this long journey of learning and becoming so wise, this character is 100% focused on inner vision, inner strength, on the divine. um, he looks only to this six-pointed star and not the material, and it works well. The magician, as I just said magician, and that's interesting because some say that the hermit is the magician grown old, and that this staff was once the magician's magic wand. Now, I keep having to pause because I'm still sick and I'm going through these coughing fits. On the Tree of Life, this card is associated with Yesod, which is along the middle pillar of the Tree of Life. It is the nines. Some say it's the ending or the culmination of their suit. Well, tens are kind of as well. So I'm just thinking quickly. The Nine of Wands. They call that Moon in Sagittarius, or is it the Lord of Great Strength? So you could be going through something that requires you to be tremendously strong and prepared, and you may be therefore in a perpetual state of preparedness for something or anticipating something. Or you could be, sorry guys, you could be in the position of the character in the Nine of Cups. Jupiter in Pisces, the Lord of material happiness. So in that case, you will have whatever you're wishing for. But I'm thinking how wonderful you are if that is the case, because in that card, remember, the 9 cups are all above your head, and therefore your happiness lies in something spiritual, not material. So that could be part of the wisdom that you've gained. You may have also learned in the 9 of Swords or Mars and Gemini not to let war loose in your head, not to worry too much. All right, so obviously what's going on in your thoughts is very good, a whole lot of wisdom, and your thoughts may be completely immersed in the divine. Now, position number 2 is supposed to represent our feelings. You may be feeling very abundant right now. This is the Empress. She nourishes everything physical. But I cannot say 1313. I just saw on the clock, by the way. Anyway, something may be majorly transforming for you. Plus, that's also 4-4. But anyway, look. The thing that I'm thinking about right now that I love about the Empress is she also has a lot of knowledge. However, she shares hers. She shares whatever she knows. She shares it. She just gives, physically, and gives in the 3D. Whereas, the very serious High Priestess that comes before her, good luck getting anything out of her. She will not speak. There's a lot of reasons for that, which is not relevant to this reading. But I think, Aqua, you're just in a very giving mode, and you're feeling like giving, all right. And 'tis the season. If you are Christian, it's Christmas. If you're Christian, so you may be in a very giving mode, but you may be giving, recipes, or giving your business ideas, or you're just nourishing, you're giving, you're not withholding like some people do. Now, the 3rd position is supposed to be our passion, or our spirit, and we've got the Tower. Wow! We've got the Tower as your passion. What I think this is you are so passionate about authenticity. that and it could also be that you have had a massive breakthrough moment, because that really is what the Tower is about. That lightning, that comes. I know that my camera could be reversing images here. Um, so if this would be east over here, east left. Yes, this streak of lightning is coming from the left to right, which is the subconscious breaking through to the conscious realm, knocking off any false perception. Sorry, Aquarius, I just went to look something up to make sure that I'm right about this. You have heard me many times mention an old um, uh, um, religious text that predated the Kabbalah called the Sefer Yetzirah. And in that religious text, they called, there is something called the exciting intelligence. And the Tower is all about the exciting intelligence, or what we call the Mars force of the Tower. It is the truth, that breaks through. It lights up your mind. Sometimes the truth, when you realize the truth about something, it can be like lightning lighting up the sky, lighting up your mind, a revelation. Very sudden, but very powerful. Well, the Tower, in fact, is a very advanced. Well, it's the second stage of spiritual awakening, according to Kabbalistic tarot. It's a bolt of truth. So somebody, or you or somebody that may have used words that broke the truth through, or perhaps you confronted somebody that used words that weren't true, because words can also prevent the truth from being spoken. And I'm saying words because the Hebrew letter that is associated with the Tower is Pe, which means the mouth, and it all comes from this Tower of Babel story that I won't retell here because it's too long, and I've told it so many times. But so I think that you are excited. Where do your passions lie? Your spirit in the bloody truth. No matter what it takes to get there. And what's really awesome is we have card number 8, the strength in the physical. So what you're able to do in the physical. This is not a woman. I saw recently an interesting video of this. I was looking at these every now and then when I need to get inspired. I'll Google or when I'm using YouTube. Inspiring things that people did, incredible saves. Anyway, I watched this video this morning of this young woman. She was probably only about 15 or 16 years old. I'm going to choke up telling this story, but anyway, she had saved this. There was another woman who was being attacked by a pit bull, and there was a video of this younger woman and she looked like she weighed about 100 pounds, but she was in her track pants, and everything. It didn't have much protective thing on. She just dropped her book bag and everything, and came over just like a warrior. And what she did with her body to get that pit bull away from the other woman, it was just incredible. But that is using brute force to come to think of it, she didn't use that much force to get the pit bull. At first she did to get his attention. And then it looked like the pit bull, come to think of it, yes, he did back the hell away from this young girl. But anyway, and she was kind of, her stance, was very aggressive. And the pit bull looked afraid of her nearing the end of the video, and the other woman was, poor thing, was sobbing and trying to pack her groceries back up in her bag. Sorry. It was such a good video. I just had to
I was choking up there just remembering it. But anyway, the point of this card is that there's some kind of mental telepathy, mental mutual understanding going on between this woman and that very aggressive animal there. And perhaps in the video I was telling you about, it's a mutual understanding. And it's mental, it's not a physical thing. Now, just let me pause the tape for one moment, guys. Yeah, I just found a really good quote from one of my really old, I saved these notes when I've learned something from somebody that I really respect tarot-wise, I'll write it down. And this is what I wrote down. I can't remember where this quote came from, but it was from a woman. I think it was from a woman on a forum that I used to be a member of. It's not her taming the lion. It's their mutual interaction. I'm reading from the quote now. Mutual interaction and their union that tames the lion. What else did she say? She's going on about the letter that letters above her head, female magic. She was speaking so quickly that I was making very jotty notes here. Correct use of suggestive subconscious, the intelligent secret, she called it. I have here correct use of suggestive subconscious. Yeah, so it's not physical, it's a mental thing. Of her head, female magic. How to interact with subconscious correctly, or the subconscious correctly. Anyway, you get the idea. It was all about, I call it mental telepathy. I do remember her talking about unconditional love, and that was part of the communication that goes on between the human and the animal there. So what does this mean? This may be what you're doing in the physical. What you may be finding, manifesting in your physical, is that you're able to tame a beast through mental telepathy. Now, here's how we get to the final message from Spirit, and you're not going to believe what it is. So we simply take the values of each of these major arcana and we add them together until we reduce down to a single number digit. So we've got 9 plus 16 plus 3 plus 8, which I believe gives us 36. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I did pause the tape there just to double check and recheck it. And as you know, if we reduce that down again and we add the 6 and the 3, we're back to the Hermit, to 9, which is such an incredibly powerful card. So you began with your thoughts, with Spirit guiding your thoughts, and the result, the message from Spirit is the same. So boy, you are definitely on the right track, Aquarius. Also, I have to repeat, a Virgo could be very important. It's interesting because my father is a Virgo, and I find that I'm constantly writing down things that he says. He doesn't speak very much, but when he does, it's literally something worth writing down. Or something extremely funny, if it's not worth writing down, and even then it probably is. But anywho, so I would say that the final message is already right in your mind, as you are guided by the divine. I mean, Aquarius, you started out that way as being the Fool. The Fool is the closest character in the entire deck to Spirit, being card number 0. Well, actually, we can't number the card because it's not supposed to be numbered. It's why the Sun is actually white in the card of the Fool, because you are so close to the sun. There are no particles in the air to make the sun look anything but white. You are that close to Spirit at that point. And here you are again, being guided by the divine. Perhaps, though, this season, what you may be doing is sharing some incredibly powerful knowledge that you have gained through the journeys that you have been through the towers that you have been through. Aquarius, thank you so much. If you are Christian, a huge Merry Christmas to you. And if not, happy whatever it is that you're celebrating. Talk to you later.